Howdy folks, I'm Brian, and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Thinking Not to Cover My Dress Form Before Hopping Onto an Emergency Zoom Call? So, I work from home right now, and we usually have meetings set out pretty far in advance. After I logged out for the day, I started working on a sewing project and have my dress form out and was pinning a skirt to get everything right. There wasn't anything but a bra and stuffing on top. I got a text saying that we needed to hop back on for a quick meeting because something went wrong. So I left my sewing stuff out and hopped on my laptop. I didn't think anything of it until like 5 minutes into the meeting, and one of the guys was like, what's that in your background? I looked and I was like, oh, haha, sorry about that. I was working on a skirt before you guys texted me. The guy kind of looked mad and was immediately like, you couldn't have taken a minute to make sure there wasn't anything inappropriate in the background? I apologized and turned off my camera. He wouldn't let it go and mentioned the camera on policy, kept going on about it until I interrupted him and was like, okay, listen, I get it. It won't happen again. I didn't even realize you could see it in the background. Sorry, everyone. Other people laughed. But he kept pushing, saying, you really think it's okay? Really? I was finally mad enough that he wouldn't let it go, and I said, have we not seen all of your kids running around topless in their diapers and not said a single thing about it, or what? He snapped, that's not the same, and you know it. Stuff got awkward, so someone else said, we should just continue. The meeting ended after like 5 more minutes, and I went back to working on my project. The next day, I got an email from the guy with my supervisor CC'd to it saying, we need to rethink the work from home policy if we can't all commit to being professional during meetings. And let's all try to be a little more understanding of those who are working at home with families. I am still mad about this. I apologized. I said it was a mistake. I turned off my camera. And for goodness sake, I even joined the meeting in the first place after logging off for the day. Was I really so wrong? Edit. I think the reason he found it offensive was that I have a bra showing. Maybe not the dress form itself, I'm assuming because he didn't say anything to that, but I have to imagine that he's not completely insane. Alright, OP. How is he being offended by a dress form wearing a bra? I mean, everyone gets lingerie ads basically every day. I mean, I get them all the time. I'm not offended. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, the thing about it is that I think these ads pop up all the time, like lingerie ads. I mean, who hasn't seen a lingerie ad? I've even seen them on websites on my work computer because I'll be going onto a website to look something up, and there's a ad for a bra or something like that. And I think bras in themselves aren't really offensive. And a dress form wearing a bra, I really honestly don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, I don't know. I think that he's taking this a little too far. I think that, like, you jumped onto this call for an emergency meeting, and he just harassed you and wouldn't let it go. Really, this should have been a private conversation he had with you anyways. It's not really like he should have been chastising you in front of the whole group. He made things uncomfortable, it sounds like. It also doesn't sound like anyone probably cared. So, and I think that the thing is, like, you had mentioned, oh, well, your kids are all running around naked, with their tops off. Why does it matter? I don't think you bring up an invalid point because, like, that's just kind of on a unprofessional level. I'm not saying, because normally you wouldn't see that in a professional setting, and I'm not saying that people who have kids running around in the background are bad people or anything like that, but I'm saying that, like, it's probably as unprofessional as having, a bra hanging out, on a dress form. It really is not that big of a deal here. This wasn't like you had some inappropriate videos running in the background or something like that here. This was, a bra on a dress form. So, honestly, I don't know why he's so up about this. Maybe other things are going on in his life. Maybe he was really upset about the emergency meeting. So, I don't know. Sounds like he's just having a bad day. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, and OP, I would bring this to HR immediately. your coworker started and escalated the argument by commenting on objects in your background and refusing to move on from the topic. Nothing about a dress form is not safe for work, and is comparable to a mannequin at a clothing store. I would reach out to other team members present during the meeting as well and gather support if it becomes a your word against mine situation. Reaching out to other team members seems like a bad idea, since that has the potential of snowballing. Going to HR is also a bit premature. Considering that her supervisor was already brought into the conversation, the first course of action is to bring the supervisor up to speed on what happened, ensure that they don't have any issue, and then let the supervisor slap the guy down. This is so insane that it makes me wonder if there's more to the story. Like, did the boss come down on this guy before, or OP complaining about this guy for something that he considered completely innocuous? So he has a bug up his butt about other people having stuff in their background without getting the same kind of stuff that he got. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Thinking My Husband is Being Frustratingly Pedantic? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. This situation had happened several times over the duration of our relationship, and I can't seem to convince my husband that his behavior is anything but perfectly reasonable. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I asked my 29-year-old male husband if he could start letting the dog out to pee around noon. We both work from home and trade off taking care of the dog, as we both know his general routine and sometimes have different meetings throughout the week. I'd noticed that my husband only let him out twice a day, once in the morning and once at night, but over the past few weeks, the dog seemed to want to get out at noon, and every time I let him out, he would pee for about 3 times as long as usual. So I casually asked my husband, Hey, I've noticed the dog seems to have a full bladder in the middle of the day, and I know you usually only let him out twice, so could you try to let him out around noon if you think of it? Do dogs get uncomfortable with a full bladder? It seems reasonable enough to assume so. But we can't measure that. Okay, but that's pressure on his organs, and that can't be comfortable. We don't know that. We only know how it feels for humans, but we don't know how it feels for dogs. Also, we don't know that his bladder is even full. Because he pees for like 2 minutes straight, and then 3 times the length it usually takes him to pee. But that doesn't mean his bladder is full. The time doesn't matter. The volume of pee relative to the size of his bladder matters. Are you measuring his bladder? Can you just please let the dog out at noon? Finally agrees. I sit there for a while, then basically say, I feel like the level of pushback for a super basic request feels unnecessary to the point of being personal. For context, we've bickered this week, so I thought there could be leftover resentment. To which he seemed aghast, like why would any reasonable person be annoyed at his behavior or think it was antagonistic? And then we had an argument about the argument. We've had this argument so many times, and every time I call him pedantic, he seems deeply offended. Like, that's completely a left field thing to call his behavior. Am I the insane one here? Is this normal? A logical behavior that I'm just irrationally annoyed about? Alright, OP. I mean, we know that dogs get uncomfortable because they'll whine to go out. So yeah, I don't think that you're being the jerk in this situation, and I think you're just trying to look out for your dog. Also, weird fact that you may want to know, it takes roughly, the average time for any mammal to pee is roughly 20 seconds. And it doesn't matter if you're an elephant, it doesn't matter if you're a dog, what matters is we don't know. It just that happens that the average amount of time for a mammal to pee is about 20 seconds. So yeah, if your dog is peeing for 2 minutes straight, then that's actually probably a pretty good indicator that your dog is not doing well and probably has a very, very full bladder and is probably very, very uncomfortable. And you probably should be letting your dog out more often than, that than twice a day. So yeah, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation. I think that he is just trying to, I don't know what's so hard about letting the dog out for a third time in the daytime. maybe there is some additional resentment here. Maybe you two need to have a sit-down conversation. Maybe you need to involve a therapist here. There could be more underlying issues at play here, and maybe he's just having a really rough time of things. Maybe he feels like he's being nagged, so he's being stubborn about it, contrarian, so that he doesn't do it. So, yeah, there could be some reasons behind this, but I don't think you're unreasonable in this situation. Anyhow, take care and good luck. It's not pedantic, it's obstructional rhetoric, i.e. grasping at straws so he doesn't have to let the dog out, not the jerk. And OP replies, I mean, that's definitely how it feels to me, but he would respond to this, you can't prove my motivations for what I did, and nothing that I said is untrue. Except for, the fact that, again, we do know that dogs get uncomfortable because they whine when they want to go outside. Like, it seems like an extremely... We know that dogs feel pain. We know that they feel discomfort. There's no argument at this point in time. This is just plain silly. He is grasping at straws. People who keep asking questions and have arguments like this, in my limited worldview, are usually trying to say no, except what they do is exasperate the person, who then says, for goodness sake, I'll let the dog out myself. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Not the jerk, but if your husband really wants to test this hypothesis, he should follow the dog outside with a large graduated beaker and measure the volume to properly determine the fullness of the bladder. If he's unwilling to demonstrate his dedication to science of dog pee in this fashion, he's just being annoying for no reason at all. There is actually some interesting science that has been done on the physics of animal urination. If he's looking for a place to start, then there's a new law of urination. Mammals take 20 seconds to pee. See, I'm not full of nonsense here. I do know what I'm talking about every once in a while. So yeah, if you want to find out more information about why mammals take 20 seconds to pee, you can read that article. But I think that it's just they don't actually have a good answer. They just know that all mammals, for some reason, take 20 seconds to pee. All right, our final letter is titled, Am I the jerk for calling a guy creepy for making a t-shirt using photos of me? I know that sounds like a very small issue, but this drama has flipped my entire gal circle upside down, and I need to know if I'm being insensitive or on the right track. Last year, pre-disaster, my boyfriend and I arranged this camping trip near our local mountain. We brought a couple of friends, and they brought a couple of friends with them, so it was about 10 to 12 people altogether. Most of the time, everyone was with their boyfriend or girlfriend or best friend. My boyfriend and I were just chilling in the mountain when my friend's friend came over and asked if we wanted some nice pictures. He had a nice camera, and we thought we could make nice memories, so we agreed. He took multiple pictures of us together and told us he would send it to us, which he did. This happened a while ago, so this was forgotten until a recent event. This guy DMs me about the trip, and at first I thought he was being nice and nostalgic. Oh hey, remember that time when everything was okay? Kind of thing, but it seemed like he was trying to get to a point. He told me that he'd made a couple of t-shirts to commemorate the event, which he wanted to give to me. This was a bit strange because 1, the trip wasn't a big deal or event, and 2, we weren't close, and the main reason we went together was because the tickets were cheaper in bulk. Anyway, I wanted to be polite, so I said, cool, send a pic so I can see. He sends me a picture. At first, I thought it was customized shirt. It was not, because the t-shirt was like a collage, but it was 90% me with some parts of my boyfriend's hand near the edge of the frame. I was creeped out because that's pretty far across the normal line, and I asked him if he was serious. He got offended that I didn't appreciate his free work and said that it was insulting that I jumped to conclusions about him being creepy. He took some photos of the other people but didn't include them at all, and I called him a creep and told him to get rid of the shirt and not to use my photographs ever again, which led to a full-blown, in my opinion, passive-aggressive rant from him about how I used him for nice Instagram pics. I haven't told my boyfriend yet, but my friends are arguing between he's a creep and she's being a jerk about the picture she was okay with him taking. And I need some distinguishing on which side is right. Am I a jerk? All right, OP. I think it's a little odd. And I don't know what his motivations here are, and I think that we would have to know a little bit more about his motivations to fully answer this question. But I would be on more of the side of, I think this is probably crossing the line into creepy territory. He took pictures of you and your boyfriend and only included pictures of you and not anyone else from the trip. It seems like that he should have included other people too. And again, like, why would you want a t-shirt of yourself? I mean, it seems a little odd. Like, you generally don't want a t-shirt with pictures of yourself on it. You know, if it was like a commemorative t-shirt with like pictures of you and some of your other friends having a good time, but that might be understandable. But in this situation, that seems a little odd. Like, I couldn't see myself personally wearing a t-shirt with just my face on it unless it was for a joke. That it's just not something I would do. Comment in the comments below if you want to see me wear a t-shirt with my face on it. I think that we need to know more of his motivations here. You know, is this something he's doing for everyone? You know, did he take a bunch of pictures of other people too and has made them t-shirts with their faces? Maybe he thought that that's what they like. Maybe he hasn't seen anyone in a long time and this was a special event for him, and it's something that he wants to remember and have good and fond feelings about. And so that's why it kind of led him to do this. So there could be some reasonable reasons for him doing this. So I wouldn't discount it completely, but to me this does seem like there might be a red flag or two hanging around here. Well, anyhow, take care and good luck. As a guy, I find this creepy, not the jerk. As a human, I also find this creepy, not the jerk. Yeah, this is sadly a great example of what women can be asked to put up with so that a man is not offended. The fact that the friend group is split only reinforces that. OP asked your friends if he took photos to be nice to share with you, why he didn't use ones without cropping out your boyfriend. Really press this question. Don't let anyone brush it aside or try to half answer. No matter how uncomfortable, question why you were only the focus, and none of the other 9 people he chose to not make a shirt of. Who was supposed to even wear that shirt? What kind of reaction did this guy expect? Also, ask your friends if they'd feel differently if this collage was on the wall of this guy's house. That's something that stalkers and creepers do. How does putting it on a shirt make it okay? Tell these friends that instead of questioning your response, they need to question this guy's intent. I do too. But did he make a shirt for each person on the trip featuring just that person? Did you ask him? If he did, then it seems more normal. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.